Welcome to the tutorial. Know about electrical panel and maintenance. Electrical panel, Part 19. Control system continued. In this part, explaining about Start Delta starters. In the previous part, we learned about DOL starters and their work. Here in this part, we know about star and delta connections, and star-delta starters of three-phase motors. Star and delta connections. Star connection diagram. The star connection method is shown here. The one end of each coil is connected to form a neutral point. In this method, a fourth wire is connected from there to make a neutral. This type is called a three-phase four-wire system. Neutral cable is not used in the three-phase three-wire system. This system is used in motors. Star connection is commonly used to work the motors with less than 5 kilowatts in power. Delta connection diagram. The delta connection method is given here. The opposite ends of three coils are connected together, that is, end of each coil is connected with the starting of another coil. Three wires are taken out from each joint. There is no neutral point in the delta connection. This type of connection is called a three-phase, three-wire system. Star-delta connection. A star-delta starter is an electrical control circuit used to start and control the speed of three-phase induction motors. It is widely employed in various industries where motors with high power ratings are used. The primary purpose of a star-delta starter is to reduce the starting current drawn by the motor during the initial phase, thereby minimizing the stress on the electrical system. By connecting the motor in a star configuration during the starting period, and then switching it to a delta configuration for normal operation, the starter provides a smooth and controlled start for the motor. Here's a step-by-step explanation of how a star-delta starter works. A simple control circuit for the operation of the star-delta starter is shown in the figure. The components used in this circuit are three contactors and a timer. Contactor K1 is the main contactor, and the K2 for delta, and K3 for the star respectively. T1 is the timer for setting the star to delta transferring time. In this circuit, contactors K2 and K3 are interlocked to work one contactor at a time. The control power of K3 is connected through the NC of K2. The control supply of K2 is connected through the NC of K3, so that only one contactor shall be able to be energized at a time. Six cable connection for star delta. Three windings of the motor are connected with 6 cables, as shown here, such as A1B2, B1C2, and C1A2. Starting in star connection. When the power is on, the contactors K1 and K3 are energized and closing the circuit for the star connection. The timer is also on at the same time. The motor starts to run with reduced voltage and current in the star connection. Transition from star to delta. After a specified time delay, typically a few seconds, set by the timer T1, In the control circuit, the transition from star to delta connection begins. During this transition, the contactor for the star connection K3 opens, and contactor K2 closes, changes the power to the delta connection. There is momentary interruption in the power supply to the motor as the switching takes place, but this will not cause any disturbance to the running of the motor. Operational in delta connection. When the timer is activated, the contactor for the star connection K3 has opened, and the contactor for the delta connection K2 is energized and closing the circuit for delta operation. The motor windings are now connected in a delta configuration. The power supply is restored, and the motor continues to run in the delta mode. This is the end of part 19, Star Delta Control System, to be continued in the next part. Thank you for watching the tutorial. Subscribe to the channel to get more videos and updates.